a disclaimer. I'm a transplanted New Englander and I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm going to tell you the distinction between being a football coach and a lawyer from the ethical standpoint. It was told to me by my mentor quite a long time ago. He said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That does not work for lawyers. So Bill Belichick tried, did not go well for him. For you, don't even try. Now, what I'd like to do is kind of walk you through a case study from my practice. My practice is basically live entertainment mayhem. In my practice, stuff blows up, people go in all different directions, blood is spilled. So I found a case study for you guys in which basically all of that happens. So the image that you're looking at here is actually from the Station nightclub fire in West Warwick, Rhode Island back in February 2003. It is the worst pyrotechnic-related incident on American soil. Out of 460 some odd people who were in this little nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island, exactly 100 of them did not make it out alive. We'll come back to this concept of the Station nightclub and its aftermath a little later, but kind of leave this in the background. Pyrotechnics is really cool looking, potentially really dangerous, and if you are the lawyer who's advising either a venue or a promoter or even an artist, what should you do? You have to keep in mind the coolness factor must be balanced against the threat to what's called life safety. So that's what we're going to talk about for the next half hour. First, those of you who've seen me present before know that I always read this. This is my famous legal disclaimer. I'm actually going to read this in the first person plural because I think it applies for each and every speaker. So let there be no misunderstanding about all the remarks that you've heard today from all the lawyers who have gone to law school, sat for bar exams, and actually become licensed. So here it is, and I will change the words just a little. Although we are attorneys, and good ones at that, these talks have not been and will not, for the last session, be legal advice. You or your clients are not our clients. Some of you perhaps are. For me, at least not yet, not as far as I know. If you do want legal advice, you will have to get it the old-fashioned way, which is to pay for it. Excellent. This is a fast-learning group. So, if anyone asks, did you hear the legal disclaimer? Did I get legal advice? The answer to the first question is yes. The answer to the second question, no. Now let's move on. I'm actually going to talk about 3 ethical rules, and I'm going to walk you through the language. I will tell you in advance, the language of the ethical rules to which basically all of you are or will be bound is really dry. It's tedious. It's in a small font size. It reads like it's in an even smaller font size. It's like there's Ambien built into the words. Nonetheless, I'm actually going to put up on this very screen the words to these 3 ethical rules, and I'm going to walk you through it. And I know that I'm throwing down the gauntlet for myself, and I'm telling you, I am man enough for the challenge. So let's go. First, the scenario. The event that I'm going to talk to you about was a concert, and this is basically drawn exactly from real life. I've modified the size to fit your television screen, but basically all the facts are as they happen. So this was a real show with Rob Zombie and Slayer. Rob Zombie and Slayer are performers of what is known as death metal. And the demographic for death metal, let me tell you about the venue first. So it's Rob Zombie and Slayer. They are performing at an arena which is on a fairground. The arena has a capacity of about 6,000 people. The fairgrounds have a total capacity of about 75,000 people. Okay? I'm telling you these facts, it's like an issue spotter. So you don't have to write this stuff down, but try and keep these facts in your head because they will become relevant when we do the what are the ethical considerations here analysis, okay? We heard my favorite expression earlier today, it depends. I'm giving you facts. The facts are what the ethical analysis depends upon, okay? So I'm telling you facts, they all matter. So, 6,000 person indoor arena, on a 75,000 person fairground. The event is taking place on a long holiday weekend, which means there are other events going on in this community at virtually the same time. The significance of that, in turn, is security forces are otherwise occupied. Community resources and private security is stretched to capacity in this area. There will not be more than the security deployment which is actually scheduled to be at this arena. This is a finite resource, and it is at its finite limit. So that's the venue. The demographic. I said before, it's death metal. Picture the death metal fans. This is sort of an innocent-looking version of death metal. Some of my favorite clients look like bikers. That's kind of what your death metal demographic looks like. The male-to-female ratio for this show, based on past year's attendance, was roughly 4-to-1 male to female. It is a, shall we say, good crowd for the food and beverage provider, if you get my drift. Doors were scheduled to open at 6 o'clock p.m. for a 7 o'clock p.m. show. The crowd is waiting outside the 6,000 person arena on the 75,000 person fairground. It's 5:45. They are in the mood. They are well oiled. They are ready for rock and roll. And they are ready to get it on big time at 5:45 p.m. when there was a problem. And the problem is Rob Zombie has a really great pyrotechnic show. The pyrotechnics are actually called gerbs. They're little fire pots that sit on the ground in front of the stage, and they shoot up these sparks. And they can be regulated to shoot up only a certain height and a certain width, just like regular fireworks, except in this case they're shooting up flames. So you have to be kind of careful in an indoor venue. That was the problem at the station. The gerbs sent the fire too high and lit the ceiling on fire in this nightclub. At this venue, the fire marshal said, I'm not going to certify the pyrotechnics for Rob Zombie. I don't think it meets code. And I, as the fire marshal, am charged with protecting the citizens from fire which does not meet the fire code. That's my job as the fire marshal, and I'm going to do my job. So the venue manager hears that the fire marshal is not going to certify Rob Zombie's pyrotechnics, and he tells the manager for Rob Zombie, who says something unprintable, who then turns to Slayer's manager, who says, if Zombie's not going on, we're sure as hell not going on. Now you've got a real problem. Now you've got two bands 15 minutes before doors open who are saying they're not going on. The venue manager believes that the fire marshal's issue with the pyrotechnics is just a technical non-compliance with the fire code. In other words, the venue manager believes the pyrotechnics would be safe. You are the general counsel for the venue. Here's your dilemma. You have two choices. You can approve the show. The show must go on. You can approve the show knowing that the venue was about to do something illegal, proceed with pyrotechnics which the fire marshal will not certify. You can approve the show knowing that the venue is going to do something illegal because you believe that the greater harm is mayhem outside the doors which will remain locked because you've got 6,000 death metal fans who